Good evening to you and thank you for joining us. After a big election night, we're learning more about how the community is reacting to the results. One of the highly contested items on the ballot for Vigo County voters was an education referendum. News 10's Hannah Fulman is live from West Terre Haute. She tells us what's next for high schools and now that the referendum was defeated.
West Vigo High School here in West Terre Haute was just one of 3 local high schools in the area that could have seen major improvements. But those major improvements and renovations came at a major cost of $260 million. Now the community is wondering what comes next for these high schools. Meet Angela Tanner. She's just one of more than 12,000 Vigo County residents who voted no to passing the $260 million high school referendum. The purpose of the referendum was to renovate all 3 high schools. There were also plans to use that money for further upgrades to primary schools within the district. But Tanner told us it came down to trust.
As much as I wanted to support this referendum, after everything I saw going through fighting for Meadows, there was no way I was going to trust the current board or administration with that kind of money.
Tanner says this lack of trust comes from how the board handled the closing of several elementary schools, specifically Meadows Elementary. She feels there was a lack of transparency in the closures. Board members say the closures were difficult but fiscally necessary. Now the question comes down to this: what comes next for local school buildings?
I think it's, again, going back, engaging our board, trying to determine with what revenue streams are there for us, how we address the issues of our high schools.
Vigo County Schools Superintendent Rob Hayworth says there are improvements that still need to be addressed immediately. He says CARES Act money will now be used to address all of the HVAC systems in the high schools, and a new referendum could be considered in the near future, which residents like Angela Tanner said they could consider.
I hope they find a way to look at budgeting in a new way, and I hope we can start figuring out ways to make the repairs happen at the high schools that we need, and maybe in a couple years when they can show us that they're here for the community and they're doing what's right and they earn our trust back, maybe we can look at a referendum down the road.
The Vigo County School Board will meet for the first time since this referendum was defeated this upcoming Monday. Reporting live in West Terre Haute, Hannah Fulman, News 10.